Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our new show. Before we do that, please do me a favor, hit the like, share, subscribe. As always, any kind of appreciation will help. Any chat information, anything you want to, give to this channel, please help. Sharing is loving and caring. But I am not your host tonight. I will be stepping off in a minute, but I want to bring your host from Africa himself, the biggest guy we know. We are talking about Black David himself. Let's get him in here.
What's
And of
going on? What's
course,
going on? What's going on?
from
How you doing?
Mars himself, we got Wally.
What's going on?
Yeah.
What's
So,
good?
guys, have a great show, and I am out.
All right, Wally, it's showtime. It's funny how the first episode is the anime gateway, whereby we will talk about what got us into anime. Now, if I look at my life, first time I got into anime was the late '90s. That from the DVD movie. You know how you go to? If you, it went from Brooklyn, New York. If you from New York City, if you know about Chinatown. That way you go there and get all your kung fu movies, all your Japanese movie, etc. Right? But when you find out they have a section for anime from their country, you start to wonder what this all about. So, what was my first anime that got me into it? Akira. Akira was the first one. Sci-fi and everything. I was like, But I said, there gotta be more to this. Then they had that one ninja movie. I forgot what the name. I don't want to mistake the name. It's it was a very iconic movie, and this movie, when I say it was graphic, I'm sure people think I'm just making this one. I'm like, man, it's I don't know I don't know how to say it. You would never assume Ninja Scroll. Yeah, that's what the name. Ninja Scroll. If anybody want to know about real old school anime, you watch the first Ninja Scroll movie, dated back in 1993. Oh God! I'm sure a lot of you remember Ninja Scroll, right?
Yeah, I heard it. I know.
You know how gully, how bloody it was, and some of the scene, everybody was like, eh, you can imagine some people. Did they do that in cartoon? Oh, this is not cartoon. This is anime. You hear me? This is completely different. And I don't want to spoil it too much, but I will put like the Ninja Scroll is one of the iconic anime that will open the door and introduce you to the anime world. Big time. I'm not gonna lie to anybody. If you never heard of Ninja Scroll, ooh, it is a 1993 classic. It's an old one, but I would advise you this: if you're going to watch it, number one, you're gonna have no young kid around you. Thank you, thank you, EJ. Yoshaki Kawajiri did Ninja Scroll, but man, Ninja Scroll was a golly ninja movie. That what you consider to be the perfect introduction what anime really really is. What do you think? What do you think? What's your idea concerning that one? Tell me
As far as like which one we're talking, like what part?
about Ninja Scroll. Like when you first seen the movie, what was the first impression you got from that movie?
Well, ultimately, I don't remember too much of it because that's like literally like dated in my mind. But yeah, so I don't remember too much of Ninja Scroll that much. I was pretty much young if I seen that one before, but yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I watched that movie over 40 times because uh, when you watch the anime for the very first time and you see Ninja Scroll and you asking yourself, "This what anime is? This the feel of it?" It's one thing you see the bloody scene and everything, and it did have some sex scenes. That's why I'm saying it's not for kids. It was. Whew. Once that opened in, there was other anime. From Ninja Scroll, I went to Fist of the North Star, which is another one. That one was like, I don't know what to tell you guys. Fist of the North Star, when you had the main protagonist who got beat up, bullied, he was chosen. He have a task that is so screwed up and so messed up. Mind you, there are three brothers, sworn brothers, and he's chosen, meaning no one else beside him can practice such art. And he had to kill those folks, especially they're your blood or your sworn brothers. Imagine that. It man, there's so many great animes that got me into it. From Akira to Ninja Scroll to Fist of the North Star to Macross, Robotech. Then when I stumble onto Mobile Suit Gundam, I'd have to ask myself, dude, there gotta be more to this. It can't be this less. But the thing is, at the time in the 90s, Chinatown only had certain intellect they were able to get their hand on and bring to the US. Oh, Gundam Wing? Peter, you ain't lying. Gundam Wing, what? You know what? Let me hold. Let me pause. Let me pause. Let me let. I don't want to start an argument right now. No. See, I know EJ will do this. I don't want to start the argument right now because for those who into Gundam, Mobile Gundam, they may think Gundam was the best because there was other, but Vampire Hunter D, that was another one I watched. I didn't watch Supernatural Beast City. I didn't get a chance to see that. But Mobile Suit Gundam, Gundam was introduced to America, but there was many other Mobile Suit Gundam series that later came after that you start to wonder like, yo, which is which? Going when everybody see Mobile Suit Gundam win, everybody say, oh yo, that was the best, that was the best, that was the best. Yes, but when you start to look for more movies with Gundam, you start to realize the library Technomont, that's another argument right there. Another argument. I'm not gonna lie. Because let's look at it. In the 90s, what are the major hit that hit the airwave that people can argue and debate about? Kiwa was on top of the list. People would say, "Oh, I can make that more." When people saw Akira, that's when people started to do the DIY project. They were like, "Oh, I can build that motorcycle." You know, it took people 20 to 30 years before they were able to build that motorcycle. They have been trying to build that replica for ages. Then as time progressed, you had, like I mentioned before, Ninja Scroll, the Ninja Scroll series. Then you had Fit on the North Star, the episode. No. How many episodes Fit on the North Star was? Was it like 150 episodes or was wait a minute. Hold on. If you're in the audience, can someone let me know? Let me look it up if I can find it. Fifth of the North Star episodes count. Because believe me, that anime was serious. Okay, I was correct. 152. The original anime series had 152, and you're not gonna believe this, guys. The original name for Fifth on the North Star is Hotoken no Ken. The original series ran for 109 episodes from 1984 all the way to 1987. Now think about that. I was watching anime in the late 90s. They have been out in the 80s. Then the next series was Hotoken no Ken 2, which is a sequel that ran for 43 episodes from 1987 to 1988. Right? And what was ridiculous though, when you saw it, you were like, okay, nah, I think what you're talking about. And they did I believe they did a reboot of that. I never got a chance to watch the whole of the reboot, but that was an iconic anime. Fit on the North Star, ooh. Robotech, yes. Saber Rider, oh. Now, question: is Saber Rider an anime? That's a good question. Saber Rider. Now, here's the joke. When you look it up, Saber Rider and the Star Cherry is an American Japanese anime television special that based on Western, right? But here's the joke. They say it's American slash Japanese. I remember watching Saber Rider. I swore it was cartoon, not realize it was actually Japanese anime. And it was similar to the Adventure of the Galaxy Ranger and Brave Star. So imagine how many cartoons that came out in the 80s that wasn't actually really cartoon to begin with, was Japanese anime. Because you had some of the Japanese animators here in the state creating these products for us. And we didn't even realize that. That is crazy. But when you start looking at all the past anime back in the 80s and the 90s that we must have known, you must consider to be cartoon, then you start to realize it's not cartoon. Dragon Ball for another one. There was Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Kai, Dragon Ball Super, yeah, Dragon Ball Diamond, that the whole franchise. Mobile Suit Gundam is ridiculous. You got Mobile Suit Gundam 1, 2, and 3. We got the Return of the Red Comet. You got Mobile Suit Gundam. You got Mobile Suit Red Astray, Mobile Suit Blue Astray. You got Mobile Suit Gundam 00. This what makes Japanese anime. When I answer that question, Wally,
Yeah, save it for the next episode. We're literally gonna be breaking that down in between, like
I know.
what's the
I'll be
difference between Japanese anime,
that
and, in this
we
case,
have been
Japanese animation, and American animation. So
we have been working on that.
get
The
that,
diff-
get that some time. That's already done in process, but wait till the next show. Wait till the next show.
we have took our time on that part because there's a lot of complications. Because remember I mentioned about Saber Rider. Saber Rider, I thought it was cartoon growing up. I realized it was Japanese anime. Then when you're a slick kid like I am, you start to look at the production factor of it. There were a lot of cartoons that came out in the US that were looking almost similar to one another. Especially to Voltron. Voltron was another one which actually was an anime based in Japan. But for some apparent reason, you can almost tell they're coming from the same studio. Am I wrong, Wally?
Yeah, in most cases.
All the 80s cartoons, you can almost you can just almost put your finger like, something ain't off. Silverhawk, and yet the Silverhawk, then yet the one that What that one that had with the underwater? What's the name of it?
Underwater.
Yeah, Silverhawk would be with a group of five teams, though, all like based on ego like character. They got one based on underwater. I forgot what they call that one.
Uh,
It's like they were making cartoons slash anime that almost like recycle, like they recycled the storylines, and it was not being consistent about it. Tiger Shark, thank
that,
you.
that was right.
That threw me off. I was like, ain't Tiger Shark a watered down version of Silverhawk? Like what is this?
I mean, a lot of ways, that's how most of them are, in a sense, right? It's
Then
like,
it felt like you're copying Galaxy Ranger. But when you talk about real Japanese anime, then you start to see the storyline progression, the building of the character, and then you start to be like, okay, this is completely different. Robotech was a iconic series on its own. But here's the thing, some people are confusing Robotech with Macross. I remember back in high school, there was a debate about that. If you want to come pull up the screen and could look at the comparison between Macross, it's Macross, we've, where we've, and compare that to Robotech, which is Robotech, Robotech. You'd be surprised. You may think it's the same, but it's not the same. The storyline was different. There's an iconic anime that I remember watching back in my country called Thunder Sub, and I was like, "Yo, what's up with this?" Thunder, you're not gonna believe it though. The full name of this anime was called Space Carrier Blue Noir. Guess when this anime was made? 1979. Imagine that. Just to let you know, they have tons of animes that you never knew existed. And there were about 41 episodes, 5 seasons. And that was a 1979 anime that I was able to watch in the 90s. Let that sink in. Japan had a exclusive, massive library of anime. Now people think, oh, you just pumping out. There, there's no fan base. Oh, there was fan base, right? Just that the level of creativity they had in Japan was excess. People were making hit after hit after hit that survived the age of time. I like what you say, EJ. For anime style as we have come to recognize, you had to go back to Osamu Tezuka, who was friend with Walt Disney. I didn't even know about that. I did not know about that.
interesting.
You know what, EJ? You will be our historian for anime shows going forward because you seem like you had the depth on that one. But there's a lot of things I can just pull out so I can remember. Trying to find my path into it and what kind of anime would I like. Then I start to realize there were so many genre of anime. So many. I was like, what? But believe me when I tell you this guy, if you would have watched a horror anime, I will give you guys the heads up. Horror anime are no jokes. I don't care what anybody say. I can tell Wally I've seen a couple of horror anime. He was like, how in the world these anime is worse or danger than the real life anime action, the horror anime.
I
Like
mean,
you
to
are.
be honest with you, I don't really touch horror too much to the degree. Like it all depends on which one it is, but yeah, I don't touch those too much.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I've seen horror movies, regular live action horror movies.
Hmm.
Yeah, it gives me the spooks. But when you watch horror anime, you start to question yourself, how far would you go? But there's some stuff it's just like everybody have a different level. I cannot go into heavy into horror anime because some of these things are just so gruesome. I'm like, okay, you know what? You had to be a psychologist to draw this one and put it to work. Because to watch is too much. It is. I'm not gonna lie. So that when I start to realize in every genre you gotta pick careful. Yeah, they got some girly animes I will not want to watch. I'm like, oh no. They got anime that will beat down soap operas. I don't know how they do that. I'm sure while I saw a couple and he was like,
How they don't sugarcoat, that's the main thing. Soap operas be like long lasting, like terminals and stuff like that.
okay, you're right. Blood Sea. Whew. You could drop the link, Peter. Drop the link so people want to join in the conversation.
I
But
mean, shoot, but ask
it
Peter what but let's ask Peter's question real quick. He said, "What is y'all top three?"
top three, it's not that simple.
It never is.
I'm sorry. When it comes to anime, your top T never stay the same.
Well,
No, you can't
some
tell.
of mine actually do stay the same.
Mm-mm-mm.
Not no.
Let me tell you. If you are if you were in the 1990, 2000, your top three would be easy to pick. You would have say Akira. You could have say Ninja Show. You could have say Fit on the North Star. That would be quick and easy. But as you watch far more anime up to now, and talk about your top three, you be stuck in a hot seat for a good hour and a half. You're like, shit. I don't want to replace Fit on the North Star. It's iconic, but they got some heavy hitters out there. You can't say no to Naruto. You can't say no to
I mean, technically, I could. Technically,
you can say no to Naruto. Okay, you could.
I
What about
mean, yeah,
Dragon?
because I mean, from my side of the strand of looking at anime is like, I mean, could it be there if I think about it a little bit long enough? Yeah, it can sure be there, but I mean, I don't know because it all depends. Like, okay, if it was me, right? If I'm answering what is my top three,
Mm-hmm.
so let me give you a little back check because I know you gave your side on how you got into anime. So let me get
Mm-hmm.
mine.
Go ahead.
So my backtrack was pretty much all thanks to my brother because he got me into anime. He was watching it. Next thing you know, I got into it, and it was heaven sent since then. I was there since the Dragon Ball days start to now. I was there for the Yu Yu Hakusho, which I call the GOAT. I
Ooh,
mean, when people like to talk about the big three, aka Naruto, Bleach, and Dragon Ball, let's remember there was Yu Yu Hakusho before anything else.
that is true.
Don't do that. Don't do that. No. So, you know, I just look at it and be like, that's why I say it is like for my top three, like just looking at that a little bit, like for sure, Yu Yu Hakusho is definitely up there for my like from the start of my childhood and down. Like Yu Yu Hakusho is the start, but that is a must.
Now
That's me.
I'm glad you mentioned Yu Yu Hakusho. Yu Yu Hakusho was a heavy diehard favorite for a lot of high schoolers. It was more like the fight, the fisticuffs, watching your favorite character get beat down and you had to go back and train super hard. That's what made it so interesting. And the
Mm.
thing about Yu Yu Hakusho, as you watch the anime, you keep on watching, you didn't realize the guy had a heritage. Like, hold up, how he got some connection to these people? Like, what's going on? There's like a Easter egg. Because you were thinking like, oh, he's trying to compete with him, not realize he came from a lineage that was barbaric. Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah,
Mm.
that Cowboy Bebop, that's a classic. It's classic. Yeah, that's that Western feel. So yeah, that's definitely classic. What else is that gonna be? If it ain't other than Yu Yu Hakusho, because pretty much like I said, like I was back in the days, like when my brother just brung me up
In
onto it.
in Inuyasha.
Yeah, Inuyasha is another one. I mean, it was another one. My only problem with Inuyasha, the reason why I don't tend to put it big three in my list is because there's a lot I wish they did that was a little bit more consistent as far as just story wise.
Mm.
That I just wish that it actually made more consensual sense. For instance, for those that watched the New Age Inuyasha, which I have not fully watched yet, sadly, when I watched a bit and piece of the newest version where they have their kids, and then you bring back the history of old characters that knew the father, now I'm like, okay, where have these people been at? You can't make this up. Where have they been at? Like what? Just hanging out somewhere when all this action was going down? Like, no, they ain't no way. They just no way. Like, no, it's too much for me. So
But here's
that
the thing:
just falls off for me in that sense.
we had a lot of heavy hitters in the '90s. We had Cowboy Bebop. We have Ghost in the Shell, Ninja Scroll, Perfect Blue. I hate Sailor Moon. I don't call that one. We had
I mean,
Neo Genesis Evangelina. That was a little bit hard to swallow for me. Yu Hakusho with a cool anime as well. You have Tencho Muyo, which is I don't know how to deal with that one. We got Jinro, the Rope Brigade. We have Mobusu Gundam Wing. We have the Anna Ivalon. We have One Piece that came into the myth. You have Golden Boy. You have Case Close, Slam Dunk, Hunter x Hunter, Ronin Kenshin, Trigon, Street Fighter 2, GTO, Ocean Wave. Damn. Record of Lotus War. Damn. The Slayers. I'm. This is '90s.
yeah,
G
you
Gun,
would have been in a lot of those.
Mobile Fighter G Gundam. Pokemon. I don't want to mention Pokemon, but Pokemon's also there. Dragon Ball GT. Dragon Ball Z was also part of the '90s. Fatal Fury. We had Rama and a half. We had let's see, Blue Gender. I mentioned a lot of heavy hitter anime in the '90s. This is just '90s, mind you. Think about that. Those are '90s. I think I try to look in the '80s. Those are '90s hits. And the way they're coming out with these heavy hitter anime as time progresses, without having better writers, without having better producers, without having better studios. Bio Armor Gaiva, another classic anime. Rather yet, so you want to talk about nine? Let me go and look into the '80s.
Or I
I
can do
think,
that. So
I
I'm
think,
gonna just throw up my last piece of too. But I think
I
I
think
think it's right now easy
we
too.
might have to do something about it. I think one of these episode series we will do when the anime first started, start calling out some of the hits they have in the '70s, the '80s, and the '90s that create what we're having on today. Because in the '80s we have Voltron, Captain Tsubasa, Rama and a Half, Gunbuster, Robotech, Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam, Sherlock Hound, Magical Princess Mikimoto, Warning Warriors. That's another classic, 1988. I remember that one. Gold Lion, 1981, actually Voltron, the original name. Thundercat was there. Angel Cop, Astro Boy, Genetic Climber, Mobile Suit Gundam ZZ, City Hunter. Then you got Silverhawk, The Venture of the Galaxy Ranger, Vampire Prince and Miyu. Crying Freeman, they did that. Not only did that, they did the anime. They did the live action. The live action was really cool though. The Guyver, Bio Armor Booster, Ninja Robot, Masks. You had Dirty Pair, Limping the Third. You got Jade and the Real Warrior with it was like a cartoon flash anime kind of thing. Space Adventure Cobra. What else do you have? Cat Eyes, Six God Combination Gozma, Giant Gourd. You got the new adventure Giganto. That is 80s. Wale, you and I, we're gonna have a lot on our hand to work on, literally. Because before we start talking about the today's anime we do right now, I think the next 15 episode will be an introduction to our show on our platform. But after that, what we want to do, have one episode we addressing the old anime, the next episode we addressing some new animes. Maybe by genre or maybe by category, depend what it is. But we're going to address a lot of anime I'm sure people haven't got a chance to look into and bring discussion about why they haven't done a reboot yet on some of these certain anime. What is the reason behind it? What you think, Wally?
Yeah, I'm saying I don't know.
Because I know I've been on a lot of um, chat rooms, bulletin boards, and I had to throw a hint about when ago we do this one. I remember they did the Guyver, they did a reboot of that one. The new reboot was pretty much better than the old reboot to a certain degree, which was great. Shaman King, not a cool anime. It didn't end well the first time. They did a reboot of that, and it became better than it was. Um, Mobile Gundam, the original Mobile Gundam did it back in the 70s. They did a few reboot to reanimate all the old version. It got better. Fit on the North Star had a reboot. Dragon Ball Z had a reboot. Um, which other anime I need to this is one thing. But when it comes to anime, if you are heavy in it, you have to realize something are either based on the company, the license, or the fan base. That is how big it is. I know I got a link pinned to my chat on my channel. We're broadcasting from Sparta headquarters. If you want to join the conversation, please join the conversation because this is legit good conversation. Because as I look at my path, I was digging, combing through what other anime that are out there that I didn't even know about.
But real quick though, 'cause I do want to actually finish this question though, as far as the top three. So
Go
this
ahead.
is my thing. This is my thing. Cause I'll say this right. I still put yeah. So Yu Hakusho is number one for me. On the second half, and usually I don't try to pick this one, but I'm going to. I'm gonna pick Dragon Ball. I'm gonna pick Dragon Ball, like the whole series. The only reason why I wasn't trying to pick Dragon Ball was because the lather of the series, the lather they need some corrections. But nonetheless, at least they gave me some of the visuals that I'm able to enjoy, aka GT. Thank you, thank you. But yeah, and then third, now this one's not. I ain't gonna lie, this one's really like a middle in the bracket because you mentioned Street Fighter. Hey, you can say I'm crazy. Don't care. But remember, I'm talking about from my time until now. So there's a reason why this. Because again, you don't understand my reasoning for why it's top three. You don't understand the reason why I would say it's top three, especially when the long history of it. There's a big time for that. So if you understand the visual of what I'm thinking, but don't say I'm crazy. Yours is yours. You have your reason for your top three, and you have mine. And then for three, the only thing I would question, I was born in the 90s. I was a 94 baby.
Peter, there was anime back in the 70s. I mentioned Thunder Sub. I watched that in the 90s, but that anime was produced in 1979. That tell you how deep anime is. So believe me, Peter. Oof. And when did he hit his third one? What will be his third selection going to be?
My third one is a little bit more of a rare one, but I usually would stay with Street Fighter. And the reason for that one is they still this is the one thing I hate that about this one. Can
Hmm.
y'all just please confirm that Akuma's Ryu's son? Like, can you please?
Oh, I gotta talk to the great on that part.
They got it. Like, with all that connection, I'm like, just confirm it, already, please. Stop.
Hmm. Now, I tell you, it's hard for me to pick my top three. Cause listen, this is the 70 anime. Yeah, Mobusu Gundam, Belladonna of Sadness, Lupin the Third Character, Ashita no Joe. Yeah, Future Boy Conan. This is the classic. Space Battleship Yamato. They were dated back in 1974. I got hooked on that. From Space Battleship Yamato, I went straight to Space Pirate Captain Harlock. I was like, there had to be a connection to these two anime. Then you had The Hobbit. I remember seeing that. Then I rode on Vesselia, Treasure Island, Galaxy Express 999. Like, come on. So when you start to see all these classic, iconic anime, that's not the question. Which one of these anime could still be the best? Because there's some anime in the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s that end up being building blocks for some of the latest anime we're watching today. And you have to get Astro Boy to all that anime. And then that was did back in the 60s. The original Astro Boy. Imagine how many reboot that one got. Cyborg 009, Devilman. Do you want it hard for me to give you my three? Remember what I mentioned before. If you reach out to me during the 90s, it would have been easy. If you come at me at the 2000, I might have a little difficulty. After 2010, you might have to be based on genre, not just overall. 'Cause overall, it's not gonna be fair. It's not. I know some people. Oh, no. To me, it's not. This is why I said anime is huge and it's massive. I'm looking up anime in the 2000 when it first came out, and it's a long list. I want you guys to listen to that right now. Yes, give me 2 seconds. Okay, we got Macross as one of them. You got iShield 21, Macross Frontier, The Prince of Tennis, FLCL, Formula Fully Cooley, Black Butler, Yu-Gi-Oh, Ghost Story. You got Goen Langan, Jack Timer, Bleach, Fairy Tale, Soul Eater, Hellsing. Like, come on. Hajime no Impo, that Orihan High School Host Club. You got Samurai Champloo. You got Clan, you got Iki and Thousand, you got Death Note, Code Geass, you got a certain magical index, Haku no Go, you got Kenichi, the Mighty Discipline. Dude, there's Yu-Gi-Oh! DX, Vampire Knight, Fullmetal Alchemist, Inuyasha, Dear Claymore, Doctor the Black, you got Fruit Basket, you got Trinity School, Monarchy, Monster, Black Lagoon, Pandora Heart, Psy Cry Ed. That right there, when I saw most of those anime in the 2000s, I started to ask myself this question: how am I going to pick my top three? How am I going to do that? There was surefire anime in the 2000s that could I give the anime in the 70s, the 60s run for the money. But you did have the surefire anime in the 90s that was still holding ground. It was a different genre, but you gotta give credit due because, Wally, you and I know this. You watch all these anime artists, they will tell you the way they get their inspiration with someone who was there before them, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
And they'll say they use reference from his anime on their stuff. So explain it to me. How in the world you go venture to the world of anime and you want to use your, no disrespect to anybody, please, you want to use your American logic on something that based outside your territory concerning how to judge the best anime. That would be dangerous.
I mean, it could, but when you think about it, though, I mean, I say it like this, right? So we talked about this before. Because anime has so much genres more than what basic American animation does in more cases than not. American anime. I mean, not American anime, but Japanese anime is like movies, but just short. So why? Because movies they got multiple genres, right? So same thing with anime, which is why they're able to stretch as long as they can and do what they do, and then be able to be in distance of how they build out their stories and have long lineage of just longer series and everything else. You look at this, you'd be like the closest thing that you get as far as a series is like comic book stuff and everything else like that. So it's like cartoons, they won't really last that long, let alone to even have a decency of wear around, other than you need to trying to conform people into a visual sense.
But get this out. I remember I was on DJ Ham's show on This Might Be Risky. They had an episode about nerds. And some of the people who was didn't want to mention they were watching anime back in the 90s and the 2000s. Some of these hard hitting anime caught their attention and they were loving it. But they want to come out and say they like to watch anime. To imagine some of the names I mentioned from the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s. Those three era produced a lot of heavy hitting anime. The graphic, the storyline, the character, it was captivating. You don't think for a second they want to be looking back and say, let me see if there's any older anime that relate to this anime and see I can see the similarity behind it. Do you know what's not going to happen? Please come on. 'Cause as years go by, you start to see more and better anime, better storyline, better graphic. You and I both know this one. Every year we try to figure out which anime had the best fight scene.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough one because there's a lot of fighting animes out there.
What?
There's a lot of
And
fighting animes.
the debate that it lead to when you want to argue this one with a better fight than this, this one better fight than that, this with a better, then It became a two people argument to a three people argument to a five people argument. Before you know, we start setting polls.
Yep. Because someone may like the fight scenes from My Hero Academia. Someone may love it from the Naruto. Someone may love it from Dragon Ball. Someone may love it from. There's so much of the good fighting scenes of all that is like, well, you got to pick between which one. Then it's like, well, we can short it down in four. Okay, well, who had the better sword fighting scenes? It's like, oh, here we go.
See, the thing about the anime community is just ridiculous. You start one argument, you lead to another before you realize you're creating tribes within the community. That how deep the thing about anime people sleep on. It creates a unique fan base that allow you to appreciate the art, to appreciate the artwork, the amount of time they put into the production. Because man, there was a documentary they were drawing Gundam from the back in the '70s to now, and how the level of perfection. You would think everything was computer generated. Now we're like it's freehand.
Hmm.
The level of details. Now come on, I might be go again and go on the Google right now. Let me go in 2010 anime. That's why I'm doing this at the introduction of the our series, so people can understand what is going on. They were the anime that are getting better and better. We had Doctor Stone, Angel Diamond, we had Blue Exorcist, Full War, we had Kuruko Basketball, we got It Is Wrong to Try to Pick What Girl in a Dungeon. You got what Monsuno, Haikyuu, Darling Brat, Bongo Stray Dog. The time I got reincarnated as a slime. You got the High School DxD. That is not for kids. Looking at that right now. High School DX. I know you've seen it.
Say the name again.
High School DxD.
Oh yeah, I heard about high school DSD. Yeah, I heard of it.
Not for kids. I know you know that now. Then you have Kakegurui. You have Stingate, Prison School, Saga of Tanya the Evil. You got Scissor Seven, Shield Hero, Radio Angel Bell, Angel Beat. You got Mob Psycho, White Album. You got Fate Day Night. You got Megalobox. Dude, there was animated out, animated after anime after anime. Because when you go through every, let me see,
It was
what is?
Sakura.
Oh, what is it? It was Sakura. What did he create? Okay, if I can remember right now. Hey, Greg Tuma, I love your content, which is why I follow you. I know that you're streaming regularly, but not yet affiliate or partner. I can help you. Clean game. Right now we are not trying to go in that route, but I will say that we try and do the thing organically. And what I'm trying to do right now, and me and my partner, we want to build
Ooh.
a level of audience who want to come and have the type of conversation concerning the anime because I'm 46. I'm never gonna stop watching anime. And knowing that there was anime dated back in the 70s, I didn't even touch the anime. I didn't even touch if there was anime in the 60s. That just to let you know how deep the anime community it truly is. and how much appreciation to the art that these people have created. So I want this show to be a show that people want to come join the conversation, show their favorite element that got them into the pathway to where they are right now. Because I can say mine was Fit of the North Star, Akira, um, Robotech, just to mention a few that got me into the door. To anybody, it had to be the top three that got you in the door. I would say that. If that's the case, it's easy for me to say that. 'Cause after those three, I got introduced to the Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball, Mobile Suit Gundam, and let's continue to go on and on and on. If you ask me how many anime episodes or series I've watched all in total, shit, I may have to pass 50,000. Not going to be that understatement. Whew. 60 anime. See, I'm glad. I thank you, EJ. B Racer, Kimba, Gigantor. That's 1960. Where were we? 1960.
Still within my day.
Let me get a shout out to all the anime group in Facebook. The Anime Girl Club is in Facebook because I don't think people really understand. I want this show to be a show that draw multiple anime groups to come over here and have these type of really deep, well-seated conversation where we start to map out where are we in this anime genre? Where are we in this anime turf or clan? Because there's so much in anime that you start to realize they are inspired by other great masterpieces. Speed Racer. Who would have thought Speed Racer was that old? 60. When you watch Speed Racer, Wally, what year you think it was started when you first started watching it?
I mean, back then I never really questioned. I just watched. It's
Just
like,
what?
if I know I watched this, that's all there is to it. So, not that that I would believe like most of the anime, like my brother like got me into that I was willing to watch. Were most of those that were already came before me. My brother is part of the '80s, so yeah,
So you get the picture though.
yeah.
So imagine that. You got introduced to anime by your brother. I got introduced because I was hanging out with my friend. We went to Chinatown and we see that one China DVD store. You walk in, then you see a section of anime, and you start to see anime, but you thought anime was just cartoon. They're like, no, 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 no. Anime is completely different. Then you start to see some horror anime. You start to see some graphic. You start to like, wait, what's this all about? This is why I say there's a lot of anime that's based on video game, based on manga, based on a lot of man. This is deep.
But I
Then
mean, even back in the days, like most animes, most of those you couldn't even see that during the day. You had to see it like during the night.
ooh, yeah,
So that
yeah.
tells you that was more adult film than it was anything of kid nature.
Ninja Scroll was one of the anime you gotta see at night. You cannot see that in the day. It was gory was not even man, the slicing that oh that was like a little too much.
Mhm.
I remember watching one anime that they put the guy sliced and you could see the vision of put the eye just I'm like, oh whoa. That's not how you wanna kill me like that. There are tons of animes. Tons. Attack on the Titan, another one that came in 2010. You got I meant to Agent Beat. Let me see what else. Black Clover. You got a weird space dandy. Kill I Kill.
Oh, yeah, that was nice.
Free. The World God Only Knows. The Seven Deadly Sin. Guilty Crown. Demon Slayer. You got One Punch Man. Vinland Saga. Death Parade. Cabaneri. What else? Devilman. Okay, Devilman, that was no regular anime. I'm sorry. These Devilman franchise, I was like, is this horror or this thriller? Which one is it?
Both. That's what you would call. That's what you would call it. When it's at that degree, you call it both.
And here's the thing: if it were to be done, these start bringing back. No, no, no. Yes, I remember. Galaxy Express 999 was on HBO at night. It was at night. You can never watch. Whew, that was no regular anime. Thank you, EJ. Thank you. I'm telling you guys, this show we gonna start we gonna start dealing with a lot of different anime that we might have overlooked and not realize how serious these anime really is. And when you start to look at it and you start to address it, you start to wait a minute. Maybe based on present time, present production, it need to be remastered, reproduced, and pushed out so people can understand like, yo, this was a masterpiece by itself. Devilman is a classic. No, I'm gonna throw it out there because there might be a question for a future show. What old school anime that you might have got a chance to watch that you feel like you could have done better with a better production? Let that sink in.
What's the
What?
name I'm thinking of? I need to make sure that it's the one I'm thinking of. Okay, so this was in the that was in the 90s. Yes, okay.
This could be a homework for anybody who watches first episode because
Because
I want
this one
you
is one of
to
those I
take
consider.
your time and thinking through what old school anime that you came across that you love the storyline, you love the character, you love the plot, but you feel it can be done even better at present time due to the present production company they have out there. And what I mean, a much bigger hit and today. Which one do you think would have done that? For all you guys that watch this episode, take your time before you put the answer in the comment because we may have to come back and hope that someone mentioned something because man, when I mentioned Thundersub 1939, what if they had a thing remastered? How would that come off? Would that be the killer hit? Would that be the overblown? Would it be mediocre? Okay, which one would it be? You got to think about that because whenever they do a reboot of any anime, it's someone that they got better than what before. Am I wrong, Wally?
You got that right there. You got it right there.
And I'm telling you, the next episode we will be breaking things down in depth. We going in on these things. We gonna be breaking down the topic, breaking down the. I mentioned that one, Space Pirate Captain Harlock. That has somewhat a connection to the Galaxy Express 999. It have to be. That was a show.
Hmm,
Crying Freeman, another great anime.
trying to remember.
Imagine that Saturn named
Oh,
himself Crying
shit.
Freeman. Hmm. What's your point concerning your growth in the anime? Like, were you the same direction I was going through, or was something completely different?
I'm on Swiss Guard.
Your pathway to anime? 'Cause I know I was going in like a nerd. I was like, nah, I need to know the best.
Well, yeah. Well, see, my pathway to anime, like towards the beginning, was like I told you before, it was through my brother because my brother got me on. But the only other thing to it was I was sort of like shorthanded because my pathway was mostly through television. So I'm like, okay, that's the only direction I have for myself when it comes to movies. I mean, when it comes to anime overall, right? And then there was this one channel on cable that they had that I ended up finding about that that also plugged in anime from the just giving like more of the Japanese ones. And I'm like, if only I known about this sooner. If only I
Mhm.
known about this sooner. But I didn't. So, that was pretty much it. But I think at that point, that's just like as long as I had it because like okay, I knew I had to had it from television because there was no other way for me to get it at the time. But
Mhm.
as later came around, now I was able to find other avenues towards it. So I was like, all right, cool. So yeah. But ever since then, that's been like my major jump because now it's like I sit here and now find anime that I didn't know about, and it's like, okay, I'm asking myself, where do I start? And I started like bits and pieces of everywhere else just to see like where I would go just to look at certain ones. So like for instance, Berserk. Berserk was one of those I did not get a chance to see.
Ooh.
It was the worst. It was so the worst because I am in such regrets to know that I didn't watch this early on back in days. I was like, oh my goodness, you gotta be kidding me.
Thank you, EJ.
I
Thank
was,
you. I'm glad you mentioned that. Yes, David. Halak is part of the Legiverse with Yamato and Queen Millie out. When I was watching those two anime, I was like, nah, there's a continuation going on. But when you mentioned Berserk, Berserk was a horror, it was thriller, it was gruesome, it was nightmarish.
it
Eh,
was his
let,
own twisted
let,
way.
let me, let me let me tell you something. You want to enjoy watching Berserk? You need to get a 65 to a 85-inch TV. Make sure that you watch it at night with surround sound. Don't sit close to the TV. Sit a good distance away. Be immersed. Oh, the sound, the effects, these the visual. You start to feel some kind. You're like, oh, like yo, that was a well produced anime.
Was.
It was. Oh. The fact that you were fighting for somebody who wanted you to for sacrifice. You was like the ultimate warrior, but ultimate sacrifice as well at the same time. Like goddamn. And I think they haven't they finished the manga. You know what? That will be another conversation. We'll talk about how manga have drawn you to the pathway to anime, because that's how anime first started. It came to the manga. Shout out to Barnes and Noble. I
Yeah.
have to say, give a shout out to Barnes and Noble because you cannot tell me long before the pandemic in the 90s, if you were coming from high school, you coming from college, if you drop out to a Barnes and Noble and you get to the graphic novel section, that's the or the manga section, that's the all these chapter of manga, you will think for yourself, only kid read these. Please. I've seen people older than me in their late 20s and 30 sitting down, immersed to the manga. I was like, what is so powerful about it that you have even older folk into it? And Barnes Noble, I wish it came back with a vengeance. whereby it's no more a place for crackhead to be hanging. It's a place for people who love to read. And you can sit there. You having a bad day? Go to Barnes& Noble, kick one of your favorites. Just sit down, get a cup of coffee or something. Open. The moment you start reading, you locked in. You're not there no more. You just in your little zone. I want to give a shout out to Barnes& Noble. Barnes& Noble opened a lot of eyes to a lot of people to anime, and you just a collectible too. On top of that, I remember it. What about you? When the first time you got a chance to read a manga book?
So surprisingly enough, the first time I ever got a chance to read manga was when I had in my school library. My school library had manga. That's why I was able to read it at
Mm,
first. Because at first I never even knew they even had books. I didn't know that.
I remember that. Some school libraries start to have manga books in there. But what are that heavy as Barnes& Noble? But I'll be honest with you. If you would have thought a collection of getting manga books, it's not gonna end well with you. You you want to complete your collection. By the time you complete collection, you have about I don't know 2 shelf full already, and you got into another anime manga. And you have to get that one. Then before you realize, you find yourself buying Shonen Jump, subscribing for Shonen Jumps. You can have it imported from Japan straight to your home. It get real deep. It really does. Because you know what? Yeah, it is. My pathway to anime have been chaotic. I remember no time you have the moment you did binge watch 15 episodes of anime. You know what anime that got me going overkill on binge watching? One Piece. I'll tell you this, a couple of years back, I would have taken One Piece serious. I was not. I'll be frank with you. There was a time I didn't take One Piece serious. The time I want to take One Piece serious, there was episode 500 something. You see what I'm going with it, Wally, right?
Oh my god.
I'm sorry to anybody who watched One Piece. And oh, no, but when we come back, you want to watch it, take it to you start to realize, no, you got to start from the very, very beginning. Or if you don't, One Piece one of those type of animes you cannot cut through, you cannot skip through. You just cannot. And when I thought about it, my first time I've been watched the first few days I did like maybe 8 to 10 episodes a day. It got addictive. I got captured to the first episode 500 something, whatever. So I've been watching 8 episodes a day to 10 episodes a day to 7 episodes a day. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to enjoy One Piece and want to start from the beginning, One Piece will drive you crazy. Oh, EJ, I'm telling you, One Piece will drive you crazy because when you want to follow the actual storyline and see where it got itself to, oh boy, from Luffy, the main antagonist, to Zoro, the pirate hunter, to Sanji, the cook, to Nami. No, it first, let me tell you how it first. It started with Lucy, then Zoro, correct? What came along with Nami, make that three. Then from Nami went to Usopp. From Usopp went to Sanji the cook. From Sanji the cook, who was next? Um, Chopper. From Chopper, you got Brook. Was it Brook? Hmm. Trying to follow the pathway of all the crew members and find their side story. Ooh, if you don't do that, oh, not, oh God. Netflix bought the license for One Piece. If I am correct right now, there should be at least about 15 movies in One Piece alone. And they're about to bring season 23 of One Piece onto Netflix. Keyword season 23. They took a break during the winter time last year. I think they stopped at episode 1189 or 87. I don't know. But I'm telling you guys, look you in the face. Don't put light in my face too much. Look you in the face. If you take your time to watch One Piece and go to the many episodes from start to finish, you will ask yourself this question. How does one person able to tell a great story of this magnitude, has so much content based on each and every character? The character creation is almost so precise. The plot, the relation to, why the person is inspired by this person. The way One Piece is like the ultimate soap opera. But yeah, that's true. Netflix also got Rama one half. Yo, it's a little quick. Uh, Wally, you heard of ramen and a half, right?
Actually, that's pretty new, brand new to me.
No, what I did, that anime got me like, So imagine you jump into a spring and say if you take a cold shower, you how you do that in school?
Hmm.
That's what I'm saying though. But yeah, One Piece. Oh, I stopped at episode 1189, and the storyline getting so juicy. I'm so eager to see what how they're gonna end off. That what Dragon Ball will do to you. That will be Yu Yu Hakusho will do that to you also as well. Oh, which long term anime does the same thing? Dragon Ball Z, I mentioned that one. Hmm. It's it's amazing. I would recommend this one. They have it on Netflix. If you're a busy guy like me who work outside Monday through Friday, you got a weekend to yourself. I would say go to the kitchen, make your breakfast, get everything ready, set your table, got your remote, got the biscuit thing, start from episode one on One Piece. Watch yourself through it. Try maybe 8 episodes, 8 to 10 episodes a day on that weekend. Come back on Sunday the same thing, take a break. Come back the next week, do it again. I promise you. You be like, yo, is it true that you had to go to One Piece will do that to you? No, I don't like Sailor Moon. It was crazy. There was so many. What's your point of view, Wally?
As far as like what we're talking about right now, like the
I'm
overall.
talk- I'm talking about all these long-term anime that make soap opera look like crap.
I mean, that's just the unique factor. I mean, I don't know because it's like most of the long term animes that live like long visuals.
Whew.
That's always the challenge, right? It's like it's always the challenge of keeping it fresh and keep it sustainable. Because Lord have mercy, eventually when you hit that nail where you're like, okay, now y'all overreaching and it's starting to not sell well, aka
Hmm.
Dragon Ball. Uh, you know, like again, Dragon Ball. It had its rights and it had its misses. It had its moments where it landed and it had its moments where you just fudged it up. For instance, perfect example. You can't tell me when you give me GT, you're giving me the older kids of Trunks and Goten, but now we're still in technically in Super, and these guys are still young. Like,
Hmm.
how far in deep are we in? Because if you really follow the timeline of the Dragon Ball Z, and then even follow the so-called not as canon movie series
Hmm.
of the whole thing, when you really think about it, by now, like, how long are we gonna keep these kids small?
There you go. That's the confusion.
So
That.
it's like no. But as far as just like the long hood of just like storytelling, it's just one of those things that it just becomes very repulsive. Like it can sometimes become repulsive. Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, they animes ever made.
Naruto had a good storyteller, but the thing is, Naruto went from Naruto to Naruto Shippuden, then it went from Naruto to Boruto. But Boruto is not even over yet.
Well, yeah, because I think that one just began, did it not? So yeah.
No, it didn't end yet, because there's
No, yeah,
more
I
to
said
it.
it just began. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. My only but that was just like those weird things. Like as far as just like growth wise, like it just never gets over. Like eventually, some of these things gotta extend to a degree of just getting better.
Hmm.
And that was like when I saw GT, I'm like, okay, this actually jumped,
That's a huge
and you
jump.
know it jumped because certain characters they got real big out there. But then it's like now we're in GT. It's like okay, we just watered down a bunch of these characters, and it's like, well, some of these are just bits and pieces. We don't even know we're gonna see Oob in Dragon Ball Super, and if we do, when is that gonna ever happen? Like we could have really used Oob in the Tournament of Power. Like so,
And now you have Dragon Ball Daima, where they had to fill in some other gap that was left out too as well. That's why I say One Piece was not leaving no gap unturned. One Piece will fill out every. And the thing, that's why I think you don't want to miss an episode. You have to watch everything to understand what the hell is going on. Naruto, in a sense, it was that same way too. But here it is. The forefather of Jistu, the forefather of Chakra, about how his mom comforts him. We haven't even find out if there will be an invasion or something like that. That's how far the storyline talking is really going, and the different clan and different people. And it's like, yo, there's a lot going on. I'm trying to figure out what other anime also long term like that. Like it's like a soap opera. I'm trying to think.
Wasn't like what was another one I'm thinking about that probably was long? I don't know how Lofi like no
Hmm.
yeah Lofin. I don't know how
No,
long Lofin was exactly.
the thing about Gundam, it varied from Gundam Seed. There were three series. That's all right now on Netflix. Yeah, Gundam Seed, Gundam Seed. Um, what the third one? Second one is? Hold on. Let me go to my Netflix account. I'm telling you, you'd be surprised. Because when I look at Gundam, they had a lot of long storylines. They really do.
But get this, they had a lot of generations. Just put it that way. They had a lot of generations. That's the one thing. Like that in itself is pretty much the idea basis of what we're talking about long storytelling. They had a lot of generations and a lot of different factors.
Okay. Well, Gundam Seed, that's the third one, Gundam Seed, right? Before that, you had the original Gundam, Gundam 1, Gundam 2, Gundam 2, they got Gundam, I don't know, that was that. They were, oh, was it Pop Rock? Hold on, not Pop, it was Pop Rock. Okay, so, now, okay, there was different variations of Pop Rock. Two-dimensional portrait Pop Rock. We have Pop Rock 7, that's 36 episodes. What's that? I'm not sure. What, there's another anime of long stuff that's so, I don't know if it's Pop Rock, but that never changed. Um,
Hey, David, check your mic. You sound a little bit low.
oh,
Okay, there you go.
Digimon had a continuity storyline going on. I was almost twisted around with that one. Pokemon, long storyline but annoying.
Long storyline, but I just look at that as like generations. I mean, the storyline is the same.
Oh,
It rinse and repeat.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! is another one. Yu-Gi-Oh! Kind of like a little complex.
Now Yu-Gi-Oh. Now I say this, Yu-Gi-Oh. As far as if you're just thinking up to a 10, that was decent. That was decent storytelling. Yeah,
Hmm.
from that part. Yeah, so that was some long decent storytelling, especially from the upbringing.
I'm trying to figure out what. There's a lot. Hmm. I'm, I'm trying to remember what other anime. Psychopath might be one of them. No, Blue Exorcist. Yeah, they had a multiple chapter on that one. What else again? Perfect Insider? No, that wouldn't be. Um, okay, to the degree. Um, Faith Day Night. There's some little length to that one to the storyline. God Eater, no. Found it. Um, the regular at the Magic High School is one. Assassination Classroom, not really. Um, Sword Art Online. That had a long, yeah. Sword Art Online have a long term storyline telling to a degree. I would say this to anybody: if you want to get into any anime, you might want to get into the manga to get an idea what to get yourself into. Just like the comic books, you got DC, you got Marvel, right? But it's not like that with the anime. With it, yeah, it's not like that. No, it's not like that. You have anything you want to add to this one? Because I know I'm going in my head
Oh
this
yeah, I'm actually taking a list. I'm trying to think. Um,
because I've been so heavy on anime. I'll say I watched so many episodes. I researched so many upcoming anime I would like to get myself into. Some that I put to watch a few years ago and I not able to watch. You'd be surprised. A lot of cool anime. I'll figure out. Giant Robot was not long. Big O was not long. Big O was not long. Escaflowne, semi long, but not long.
okay, so what about Full Metal Alchemist? How do you think that how that story?
That was pretty long.
Okay, so
To a
that's
degree, yeah, it was. Fullmetal Alchemist was pretty long, but it was not super long. Um,
oh yeah, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure was pretty decently long.
what again?
JoJo's Bizarre Adventures.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So
That's a cult favorite.
yeah,
That was a cult favorite, but I didn't like how they ended the last episode.
yeah, yeah. Those are some that they have. And then I know Hunter x Hunter is another one, at least on the later entry.
Hmm.
So yeah, so those are some of them.
I'm telling you, if you take your time and go
Yes.
through the landscape of anime, you find some anime that will have you locked. There's some anime you will end up spending your whole vacation watching.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see. I should have known this one because I think even Samurai Templo that was even long as well.
It was long, but not too long.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. And
It,
then the other one I'm thinking of. What else I'm thinking of?
a World Trigger from 2014 is long. Um, the Dragon Prince, yeah, it's been long. Beyblade, no, Beyblade was kind of long. They keep changing around
Yeah,
afterward.
but Baby was generational though, so
Hmm.
I don't even really like. Yeah, so usually like I mean I say like this. So when I look at storytelling, I look at it as well. One, is it generational, or are we sticking with the same character? That's one, and if not, then it's generational. And then two, has the story and implications of it really changed? Or are we still working on the same skeptics? So it's like, if it's not really like, if the level of it hasn't really changed, then it's like, it's pretty much the same thing. So that's why I don't really like count those and Pokemon in the same text.
Hmm.
And in some ranges, like Yu-Gi-Oh! In some sense, but at the same time, I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a little more dynamic, so I can see it. Like, if you were to say Digimon, I'd probably give it to you. Because that was sort of different. I say
This one
sort of.
had this one did have long term storytelling. It did.
Yeah.
Attack of the Titan did, but kind of complex. It was. Hmm. You have the level. Okay, I'm not gonna watch Tokyo Ghoul. You cannot pay me to watch Tokyo Ghoul. Nothing. Parasite, no way.
Oh, And look,
All you want.
Parasite
I'm not touching.
was one of those sick ones. I actually like Parasite. I actually like Parasite. That was actually good.
I'm good.
That was actually pretty good. I can actually watch Parasite.
I can't.
Uh,
Uh. Oh, thank you, Peter. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Zoid. That's another classic. EJ, you're correct. The original Ranma and have from the 80 have quite a long run of episodes. Now the question is, would Netflix do the same? That we got to look at. Would Netflix do the same? Remember, you had a pushback about Voltron and how they trashed that one. Hmm. Oh no, EJ, you can watch Parasite with Wally. I'm not watching it with you, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, what's wicked
No,
though,
hey,
EJ?
hey.
What's wicked?
You see
Hey,
my
that thing
face?
was
You see my
it was
face?
so. I say this. Parasite was like in a sense, it's similar to like if you're thinking about like alien wise of like symbiotic stuff like like venom and type stuff, and then you put it in, but
Nah.
it was just in its own way a sickening version of it.
To me, Parasite is no different from Terraformer.
And,
You're fighting alien cockroach bigger than you. I'm good.
and, and
Uh-uh.
y'all got
This,
their place.
this is the first episode right now. I'm throwing out name of animes. Not to let you know, I came across a lot. Some I wouldn't even dare watch. I'm good. I don't have the eye strength. Do those gruesome, horrific. Mm-mm. You're not gonna blind me.
And,
No, sir. Mm-mm. I want to give a shout out to EJ. EJ seems to be our historian when it comes to a lot of these anime because, as I mentioned, some of these you start looking down who did he understood what it is and he understand the mission. I'll give a shout out to EJ. I don't know what happened to anybody when they want to show up, but it's okay. This is the first episode. We give you an insight look at what these conversations are gonna be like. Because the next couple of episodes we want to get a structure how we would address these anime. And we hope we grow this channel to a level unheard of. Like we have people want to join the conversation. We have some people do the survey for what the better anime to start off again with. To get yourself into it, immerse to it. What kind of genre anime that you like? Don't worry, we will talk about this. We will do so. It's not your problem. Whew. My brain is about to burn. I'm thinking of so many anime in my head. Why did it let me go haywire? Because he wanted to know I watch way more anime than him.
and
You know what? This is the challenge to anybody. If you think you have watched more anime than I have, and you got a lot to contribute to the conversation, we want you to join our show. We're doing it every Wednesday around 9:30. And I hope you pay attention to the topic we were talking about because believe me, we will start walking into the deeper depth of anime. Maybe I have a category. We'll have to do a graph and start comparing which anime the do and don't based on genre. Maybe I don't know. When it's the upcoming anime that about to come soon, we will sit down and talk about it. From the producer, from the plot, the genre, and see if it's gonna work or not. And that's what we're gonna do. What do you think, Wally? It's about we got 1 hour and 36 minutes in. I'm enjoying myself, but I'm finding myself burning through the huge catalog on anime in my head.
I mean, this is pretty good for where we are. I mean, we just really speaking on where we are and where we stand and like how we
Hmm.
got in. Because again, everyone's gonna get in somewhere, right? Like everyone's gonna have they start somewhere. In anime. Like I remembered, so good a friend of ours like Jada Kashi, right? Like just when I got back in, when I was able to get back into anime after for some long time because of other things that was going on, he brought me to a whole new section of anime that I was not able to see yet. And of course, there was another person I know as well. He also knew some anime, and he
Hmm.
also knew some certain things that he threw to me. He's the one that threw to me the Berserker. I was already trying to stop. I was already I was so pissed to know I didn't even get to watch it. Because when he threw me that, I was like, yeah, I'm not. I'm more likely not going to be leaving this room, let alone this TV screen, not for long because I have to watch the whole thing. It's going to be so much time for me to do. You
Make
have to break down by format, also movie, series, and
oh, we're gonna do that.
oh
We are definitely gonna do that. But there are so many. I think we will try to go through every episode as detailed as we can, so people understand that this anime thing is not no small thing. It's a big growing thing. It's for all ages. But some animes, man, I'm just saying. So we had EJ here helping us out. Peter within the show. Well, we got somebody from the Kick Killian game. Well, let me play this though. We want to go out channel organic. We're not going to be paying no money to get views. No, we'll keep on trying, keep on having the discussions. Hopefully, we'll be invited to a anime con session so we can ask questions or get our point of view. That would be great. So I'm not sure. Should we do a final thought because we don't have so much to say on the first episode because we talked about our pathway into this. And next episode, we are dissecting the topic concerning cartoon and anime. What's the difference between both? So we will be going heavy, really, really heavy. And I hope you guys, like I said, my assignment for everybody who get to watch this episode, please write down the top three anime that help you build your foundation into Japanese animation. Don't copy from me. Do not copy from Wally. Mention your own top three that got your eye open like, oh, this is legit. This is for real. Okay, I mentioned some 60s, I mentioned some 70 anime that I watched in the 90s. You know it's that damn good. But it is that damn good. Look up there. Okay. So you wanna do a final word on this, Wally?
yeah. So I mean, for me, I say it like this. As far as like, I know we talked about like certain animes that got us in, how we got in, but also what's kept us in. And like I mentioned earlier, one thing about anime that I truly love, especially for the simple fact of not only is it just like multi genres, like it's touching it just like it is on movies, but one of the main things is how the story just keep on going and keep you entertained. Like that's the one thing about it I truly love and adore with anime because honestly, You know how it is, right? Like you watch a movie before or a nice TV series, you will never forget it. That's the same way with anime. You watch this and you will just never forget it. You'll know the name, or if you can't remember the name, you will start remembering certain plays and actions or how the character looks. You remember something because that's how good it is, and that's how good I truly love anime to the core. Because there's not a lot of things I can sit here and say on a natural basis, normal like American animation that is equal to this. Like, don't get me wrong, American animation has its place, but to the degree of selling the stories that the Japanese versions are selling, is just not equal. It's not equally impaired. So yeah. EJ says, Wally, make sure you touch base with Peter about getting into the fence. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I got you. I got you. But yeah, those are my final words right there. Take it away, David.
Okay, I know I was trying to hold back because I didn't want to go in and geek out too heavy because there were so many anime. Honorable mention: JoJo Bizarre Adventure, great storyteller, ridiculous artwork, the satire, the comedy, the nonsense that was going on. I'm like, okay. Yu Yu Hakusho, the great anime. Um, Monster, another one. There are so many iconic anime, either be based on a movies or series or OVA. You be surprised what you get yourself into, and you want to take your time. Now, if you don't like watching reality TV, what you see out there, all this nonsense TV show that have no great storytelling, it's better come to the anime section and find what will cater to you. Like I said, I am not watching no gory ass anime. I'm not trying to lose my appetite or lose my sense of eating. Not happening. You have to tie me down, duct tape my arms to the chair, duct tape my eyelid like this, and make me die watching. No, it's not happening. But other than that, it has been a great show. I enjoy having this conversation. Next week, we start getting to business. But talk about what we will do about these anime conversations. We flushed out the first 15 episodes, what we were working on. Then little by little, we start to put out what we'll be talking on, what we will break it down on. We hope to have some special guests. Shout out to Jay Takachi. Shout out to Jedi Mike. I hope we have you on the show soon. Somebody comes to Tony Anime because we want to take our time and dissect it. Jay Takachi, you welcome aboard to
Oh,
join
he
the
already
show.
knows. I already told him. I just need to know like what
So
days to come in, so he can come in. He can do.
I want to make sure we take our time. So no fully coolly, no fully coolly. I watched it. Known as FLCL. It was just ridiculous. I was like, you have a underlying theme going on here. Like, y'all throwing me off here. That's the thing with Fully Cooley. Fully Cooley, that's like, make up your goddamn mind. Like, jeez, the satire was too heavy and thick on it. I was like, oh, hey, like, but it was cool though. Other than that, man, I'm telling you, this has been a great show. I enjoyed this show. I enjoyed this conversation. I'm looking forward to have more anime conversation that go into in depth. That when we, I don't know, maybe we reach episode 50 or so, we're going too deep into the anime conversation. We will start addressing certain anime based on why it's not being reproduced or what it prevents them from being reproduced or remastered. I'm hoping we get there. But until then, this is CBN Tech Talk. That's my cast app, aka Bear Paw. You got Wally in the building,
Yes, yeah.
and I hope you do your homework, please, guys. In the comment section, list three anime that open the door to you into the anime world and why is very crucial to you. All right, I want to read them. So on the next episode, I will give a shout out to those who did it, and also ask the question why you love these anime choices. What would you think about it? All right. Until then, I enjoyed this show.
Right. And it's only gonna get better from here. Because trust me, when we get into these conversations,
Ooh, and
wow,
I'm not gonna
especially
lie.
one thing that
I'm
we
gonna let you
got.
guys know the anime conversation could get into a rough debate. It can. Because when you start touching on certain areas, certain topics, then you can see the tribe start to come out.
Uh,
There are some rivalry in the anime community. Trust me, I'm telling you what.
yeah,
We're not
and
gonna
these
do it here,
rivalries
though.
be good. That's the whole point about it too. The rivalries be really good. The only thing
I am.
is that the rivalries they have they places though. That's the difference. They have their places.
Don't worry, we'll get there. Until
All
then,
right.
this is See Me and Tech Talk, and this is a good night. Take it easy, guys.